get this party started, shall we? Hello, I am RogueLink, and this is Demon's Crest 100%. So Demon's Crest is the third and unfortunately final game in the Gargoyles Quest series. It has quite a few differences from the first two games. First of all, there's no jump or wing upgrades. This means that Firebrand can jump the same height throughout the entire game and can always hover indefinitely. But the game designers kind of make up for this by adding these items called Crests, which allow Firebrand to change their forms and having just a ton of collectibles all around. So there's plenty of things to get in 100%. This is Samuelo. He's a pretty straightforward boss. He's actually a lot faster in Japanese. He has less health, and it's very, very easy to set up the kill. Now he's going to try to break out, get stuck, and we're just going to finish him off. Brah! There we go. That was pretty good. And we're picking up our first health upgrade. We're going to be getting a lot of these. You end up with 20 health by the end of the game. So here what we're going to do is we're going to immediately pick up this 20 ZAM, which is going to be used for a mini-game later. Two of the optional items that you pick up in this game are scrolls and vials. The first scroll is actually hidden right here. There we go, not too bad. And we'll be dipping down quite a bit over the course of this game in order to find all sorts of stuff. Thanks for good luck, Ve Victus. This is Hippogriff. Hippogriff is fairly manipulatable, but you have to be pretty quick on the draw to get all the attacks you need in. Oh, I'm not sure if we got there. Nope, unfortunately we didn't quite get there, so he's going to be hovering a bit. Fortunately, ooh, 2 feathers, that's pretty bad. 3 feathers, that is extra bad. Okay, he's dropping back down. Hopefully we can kill him soon. And there we go. So, not a very good start, but I've definitely seen worse. And bonk. Another health power up, and we're moving on. So another difference between this game and the other games in the Gargoyles Quest series is that you can't shoot and fly at the same time. So there's many situations where we're actually going to be doing jump shots in order to help maintain our momentum. Killing that guy with a jump shot. We're going to dip down here, pick up our first vial, and then head on out. A lot of these stages, like mini sections, are nice and quick. There we go. We're going for a trick called Ascent here. We're going to be trying to grab a platform a few cycles early. Oh, but it looks like the spider didn't want to drop down for us, so we couldn't quite get there. This platform right here is the one we'd be grabbing early. This next boss is Arma. There's 3 Arma fights over the course of this game, and each one he gives us one of the crests that we're looking for. This particular fight isn't too bad RNG-wise, but the Arma fights are definitely some of the more RNG-heavy fights in this game. Oh, whoops. You can kind of manipulate him, just a little bit. Ideally what you want to do is you want to stay on the ground as much as possible, and that way, since his position is based off of yours, he's more likely to be within range of your jump shot. One more? Yeah, there we go. So, not a terrible fight. Certainly not the best, but again, not terrible. That's going to get us the Crest of Earth. The Crest of Earth unlocks Ground Gargoyle for us, and allows us to use the fastest ground movement in the game. There we go. Switching over to Ground Gargoyle. This dash right here. Ground Gargoyle also is the first instance of us being able to deal double damage to enemies. Ground Gargoyle has 2 attacks, one while he's in the air and one while he's on the ground. The one on the ground only travels over the ground, but does 2 damage as opposed to 1. There'll be several bosses that will be essentially manipulating or trying to manipulate to get as many of those ground hits as possible. Get down here, damaging through him so we can jump through here. Nice. Short hop here. Excellent. Gotta be real careful here. Oh, nah, not quite. But still pretty good. It's possible to make that jump without taking any damage. We didn't quite get there. This is the first dark room. There's 2 such rooms in the game. This one's not too bad because it's fairly short. The other one's much more complex. There we go. And heading in here for our next boss. So this is Nunu. It's going to chase us up this cylinder here. There's actually a nice little strat that you can do, pick up this health power-up, where if you ride inside the ooze, it actually saves about 5 to 10 seconds in lag reduction, and he's able to get to the top and start the fight much sooner. This fight's also kind of RNG heavy. You want him to shoot out as many eyes as possible. Oh, there we go. Nice. So he hasn't shot too many eyes out at once, but we've been killing them fairly quick, which is also important, obviously. Wait, did we just... Okay, that was a weird glitch. I think I just killed something off screen, and some health popped up in the bottom. Ooh, this is bad. They got behind us. Okay, unfortunately one got back into the ooze. There we go. When an eye getting back in the ooze is pretty bad, but I guess the eyes weren't terrible. We'll probably be losing time here. Getting early shot in. And there we go. Nunu dead. So here's another bit of time save. You want to be in the ooze in order to save some time collecting the item. You can also just be completely under the screen, and you'll save a few additional frames there as well. But the important thing is that you're in the ooze to pick it up. Next, we're heading over here into the forest. So again, plenty of stuff to pick up in the forest. We're going to fly over the top here at first, because all of the bats cause quite a bit of damage. But we're going to drop down here so that we can get this vial. Up, 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 up. Oh, unfortunately we couldn't get over the bat, but that's fine. There we go. We should be fine on health, but if any of these bats drop an extra health, that would certainly add to security. But we didn't get there, which is fine. Now we just need to dash through here. So this is going to be pretty tough with only 4 health. It's not too bad. It's obviously a lot safer with 5 health, but we should be fine unless we get pretty unlucky. Most of this room is using Ground Gargoyle. Oh boy, ooh, that's bad. So we're gonna have to go with our backup here, unfortunately. Oh, careful. There we go. So when we killed Nunu, we actually got this brick break, which is very useful for finding a lot of side or hidden areas. Go. So what we just picked up there was our first talisman. And there's also a special hidden health underneath this fire canopy. So in order to get rid of the canopy, we just need to enter this room and exit as fast as possible. And the fastest way to exit this room is to die on this boss, which sends us back to the entrance we just came from, over here. So fairly smooth. Nice. Quick shots, quick shots. And now we can go grab our health. Voila. Grabbing the health here, so we're at full health for the boss. And now we get to kill Flamelord. A lot of this is making sure all of your health, all of your hits sink in. That was actually pretty lucky, only aerial birds, no homing birds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so why we counted there is so that we could be inside Flamelord for the final hit, which allows us to pick up this item extra early. Kind of like why we were in the ooze for Avnunu. Here we're going to find a hidden minigame, which costs 20. This is why we picked up the Zam earlier. Uh-oh. There we go. Oh, we missed them both. Should be close. There we go. And for our troubles, we are rewarded with a health upgrade. We got 3 torches there. 3 torches isn't too bad. Now we're heading over to the Wind Palace. Wind Palace isn't too bad. It's more vertically focused than horizontally focused. So the ground gargoyle's extra speed isn't going to help us out very much. Here we go, sliding through here. And we're going to pick up another hidden vial. Right along here. There we go. Switching... Oh, whoops. Switching the brick break. Crushing through here. You want to make sure not to walk too much on those blocks, because they tend to be pretty laggy. Jumping up here. Nice. And here in this next room, we're going to shoot these 2 soldiers so we can just slide through. Oh, just almost missed it there, but we're still good. And we're going to drop down into this vortex for a hidden path and our first quick kill. Or, sorry, our first refight. But instead of using normal Firebrand, we're going to be using Ground Gargoyle this time. Again, trying to stay on the ground as much as possible so that he dashes on the ground and we can get all of these ground hits in. Come on down. Come on, you can do it. Oh, not quite. Drop. Oh, that's unfortunate. Should be almost dead. There we go. So ideally you want to kill this guy as close to the wall as possible. But that wasn't too bad of a fight. There we go, and we're out. This is also going to be our first instance of using the tornado. Screwed up that start, unfortunately. So the tornado we got from Flamelord. It essentially makes a temporary platform that we can jump off of. But unfortunately, you can only have 2 active at a time. We're sliding down here to collect another talisman. There we go. So you might be wondering what the talismans do. Well, unfortunately, the first 2 talismans we don't actually use it all in a speedrun setting. There's one talisman for health drops, one talisman for money drops, one talisman for increased damage, one talisman for extra shots, and one talisman for decreased damage. Sliding up there to get another scroll. The last 3 talismans we'll be using fairly extensively. Okay, not too bad. Now, we're fighting Arma 2. So this is the first armor refight. Unfortunately, this is definitely one of the biggest RNG fights in the game, with a fairly big swing either way. But again, we want to keep him as low as possible so that we can get as many ground hits as possible. And he is not cooperating today. There we go. There we go, finally got a ground shot in. Okay, not bad. There we go, now we want to lock him on the ground for as long as possible. Okay, another free ground shot in. More ground. Okay. So bad start to this fight, but fairly strong finish. We're unfortunately losing a decent bit of time here. And for killing this Arma, we get the Crest of Air. The Crest of Air unlocks Aerial Firebrand for us, or Aerial Gargoyle. With Aerial Gargoyle, we're actually able to ascend vertically, unlike any of the other gargoyles or forms of Firebrand. So it allows us to move up much faster than jumping up the walls. Oh boy, whoops. Oh, and almost clipped under, but unfortunately we didn't quite get through fast enough, so it pushed us out instead of pushing us under. Now we don't want to use Aerial Gargoyle in the next room, because Aerial Gargoyle is immune to the fast wind in this room. Fortunately, we screwed up our shots, so we had to go under, but not too bad. There we go. And we're going to go for an early shot here. Oh, I'm not sure if we got it. Nope, didn't quite get it. So it's possible if you enter that room and fire at the right time, you can get an early hit in, which helps save time in this fight. But this fight's not too bad with Aerial Gargoyle. Fairly good pattern. And there we go. Nice. Not too bad at all. We'll be seeing Flyer again later, and the revisit will be much, much more difficult. There we go. So next, we're heading off to Griwan. Griwan is where we kind of break the intended route of the game. This fight, essentially we do a harder version of this fight with normal Firebrand in order to save about 10-15 seconds over the course of the entire run. Takes quite a bit of concentration, though. Generally speaking, with the Griwan fight, you don't want to move until he moves, and those are essentially your only openings. And it requires quite a bit of concentration. Grabbing a, I believe, scroll here. Yep, scroll. And now it's on to Griwan. Believe me when I say that fight is a lot harder than it looks. That was basically a perfect Greewon. And it looks like we golded. Nice. So now we're heading back into that room and going through the alternate path. First of all, switching to aerial. There we go. First of all, switching to aerial gargoyle and grabbing this hidden vial right up here. Vials are actually very important, and I'll explain a little more later in the run, but essentially you need 4 vials before a certain point, and that is the last of those 4 vials that we'll need before we pick up potions, which will help significantly with the revisits of this run. Just flying up here. You generally don't want to travel on the ground in this stage. Everything is covered in ice, and ice is slow. Sliding in here, getting through with our brick break, and getting another health upgrade. Ooh, almost didn't make it. Okay, not too bad. Got some health power-ups. Or got some health drops. And now we get to fight Flyer again. But this fight is much more difficult. It has a lot more health, and it does a lot more damage. And we didn't get the early hit here either, unfortunately. It's a frame-perfect trick. There we go. Nice. So even though we can fly in the air, generally speaking, we still want to stay on the ground for this fight, so that we don't risk him going too high, which would mean he's off screen and then our attacks don't sink in. That was a very good Flyer 2 fight. So this is the second dark room. This one immediately starts dark and is fairly difficult to navigate if you're not sure what you're doing. Honestly, it's fairly difficult to navigate if you do know what you're doing. There we go. Switching to the armor talisman that we just got there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Nope, we're fine. Thought I dropped a little low there. But we're still good. Now we're switching to the attack that we got for fighting Greewon, and we're going up against the third and final form of Arma. Getting an early shot in here. Now I'm also going to be counting my attacks here too, so that we can attempt an early pickup, but it's a lot of RNG. 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh, this isn't good. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if he was a little closer to the wall and we could grab the wall, we would have been able to get an early pickup, but unfortunately, how close he is to the wall is mostly up to RNG. There we go. And now we have the ultimate gargoyle. This is the most powerful form of Firebrand in the game and is incredibly useful. Ooh. Actually, our money's really low here. We are... Oh, much better. Okay, now we have enough money. So, we need at least 32 ZAM. Whoops. We needed at least 32 ZAM in order to buy all the potions we need, and we were 1 short. Usually you don't have to break that window, but we were fairly unlucky on money drops here. I just bought 2 mercuries and 2 sulfurs. Mercuries are going to be used for a trick called mercury canceling, which takes you back to the previous room and kills a boss, so it's really good for revisiting and not leaving the stage. A sulfur takes you back to the world map, no matter where you are, and is really good for revisiting if you're completely done with the stage. In the current 100% route, there's 2 mercury cancels and 2 sulfurs that need to be used. Okay, not too bad. Picking up our health. Or picking up another health upgrade. There we go. Continuing to use ground gargoyle for the fast movement. And, ooh, that was close. And here we're going to switch to ultimate gargoyle. So we're going to lay waste to this boss. There we go. Got it. Okay. So that's the mercury cancel. We used the mercury at the same time that we picked the collectible from the boss. So instead of going back to the overworld, we're going back to the previous room, which allows us to take the alternate exit and get everything else that we need. Pretty snazzy trick. There's only a 2-frame window in order to set it up, but we have various setups in order to help make it much more consistent. So even though there's only 2 frames that you can pick it up, we can get it fairly consistently. We just picked up the hand talisman. The hand talisman is probably our first useful talisman, although armor's pretty good too. Hand talisman allows us to have 3 brick break shots on screen at once, or just generally 1 extra shot. Oh, whoops. That was pretty bad. Figured I might as well get the kill while I was in there, reduce some lag. Though you usually don't have to. There we go. And we're just going to grab one more thing that we missed the first time we were through here. Switch to brick break. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Grab that guy and get out. So another visit on our revisit tour is the Colosseum. Here there's 2 ways you can go through this level. Generally speaking, when people first start running this game, they go through as aerial gargoyle, but you can actually save a decent amount of time going through here as ground gargoyle. That was pretty good ground gargoyle movement. You can also go through as ground gargoyle completely in the next room, but it only saves about half a second, so I choose not to do it. So instead of switching to aerial here, some people would stay as ground gargoyle. But because of that little trench right there, I find it's not really worth the risk. Alright, now we're flying up. And this is going to be our last time here. There we go. Switch to sulfur. And we're out. So next we're heading to Atlantis. Again, you may be noticing a pattern. There's 3 pickups and 2 bosses in every level. The first boss is going to be Crawler. Now, Crawler is kinda RNG heavy. There's still a little bit of a debate in terms of how consistent Crawler manipulation is. Some of us in the community have better luck than others. We're going to switch to Ground Gargoyle here for a little bit of extra ground boost, because we need to be Ground Gargoyle in order to break into this first piece. And we're going to switch to Aerial Gargoyle to get up here. Switch back to Ground. Pick up yet another health power-up. There we go. Not too bad. So here, Crawler's going to spawn from above. But instead of letting him chase us, we're just going to clip through him, head up here, and go for another health power-up. There we go. And now it's just up to the Crawler boss and yet another Mercury Cancel. There we go. So this is going to be the last potion that we need. So I'm going to do a lot of weird movement and get hit a lot here. And that's essentially to get Crawler to open its eye more quickly. But again, that manipulation is kind of inconsistent for certain people in the community. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, we didn't get the second Mercury Cancel. So that's going to lose us about 15 seconds. But otherwise, this run's been decent so far. Not certainly not my best, but decent. My current PB also doesn't have that Mercury Cancel, but it's still a 2-frame trick, but we're fairly consistent at it. Up. Fairly good movement so far on the split. There we go. Excellent. So I'm actually holding the controller a little differently, kind of like a keyboard here, in order to use the 3 buttons you kind of need to use in order to optimally control Tidal Gargoyle. So we're generally just trying to slide through here with minimum damage. Ideally, we wouldn't want to have to switch off of hand at any point. And we want hand here so that we can break through these blocks and kill these enemies a lot faster. Oh boy, that's unfortunate. But it looks like we're going to have to switch to armor for this crawler. Or sorry, Holothurion. Holothurion is also fairly RNG heavy. It's hard to tell, but he controls the he controls the sea currents. I really want to be armor here. He controls the sea currents and essentially damages you, never directly, but by pulling you into himself or into the various bits and pieces floating around. Not too bad so far. Cutting it a little close, but there's very little you can actually do here. You're kind of up to the whim of this boss. Okay, there we go. Whew. Cutting it pretty close. Unfortunately, that wasn't a very good Holothurion. But we're almost done. We just need to do the alternate path in the forest, and then we can head to the final castle. switch off that mercury. Okay, not too bad. Whoop. Now, a lot of this movement requires very precise jumps. Here we're going to... Oh, I think I might have ruined it. Okay, so we're going to slide... Oh, nah. Couldn't quite get there. Ideally, you'd want to slide through the water there. We might miss this water cycle now. Oh, yeah, we just missed it. But since the water's so low, it's actually worth it to switch to aerial here, instead of waiting for it to drop too much. Unfortunately, we had really bad shots there. But we're still going to make it up here a reasonable amount of time. Here we go, picking up one of the final health upgrades. Oop. Ah, we got bonked by the tail. Hate getting bonked by the tail. Another possible early hit here. Didn't get it, unfortunately. There we go. Not terrible. We had some bad water movement, so we're losing a little bit of time here. Alright, now it's off to the castle. Quick check. Yep, we do in fact have everything. So notice a few things missing. We're missing one form, which we don't get till New Game Plus. We're missing a talisman, which we get in this level. And we're missing a health upgrade, which we also get in this level. It's very easy to check for 100% or not, because there's an optional boss in this game where you need all items in order to unlock him. So if you see the third form of the final boss, then you know you've got 100%. Oh shoot, I should have dropped. Ah! That was some poor positioning. Ah, that was a very bad Hippogriff 3. Just a little sloppy, unfortunately. Okay. We actually don't need this health pickup because we're about to get the final health upgrade. But it's really hard not to pick it up if you kill the Hippogriff so close to the right side of the screen. There we go. Not too bad, not too bad. Here we're going to want the claw. And this is by far my favorite health upgrade in the game. You ring the bell, and then it drops. And now we have all the health. So we're just missing one talisman, and that's it. Not too bad. Got bonked. And the last talisman is down here. Nice and tucked away. And now we have 100%. Just need to get to the end. Okay, not too bad. Oh, whoops. Accidentally tagged that thing. And let's just hover on through. So most of this level is fairly straightforward. That windy room is easily the toughest part, at least for me. Well, not counting the final boss, that is. And we're getting one more refight in the form of Griwan. And with Ultimate Gargoyle and the Fang, especially compared to how we fight him with normal Firebrand, you can really see just how much stronger we are at this point in the game. Switching back to Tidal Gargoyle so that we can fly over some spikes and set up for a boss. get the health power up, and let's get out of here. Alright, so Phalanx 1, 2, and 3 are coming up. 1 and 2 aren't too bad. Most of the challenge comes in Phalanx 3. Debool, thank you very much for the follow. Much appreciated. Okay, not too bad. 1 damage is normal on that fight. Now, for this next fight, we're going to want to have as much health as possible. There's a quick kill that we want to try to go for on the 3rd form of this boss, but it's easiest with a lot of health, so that you have a lot of attempts at it. Okay, there we go. 3 early shots in. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, that is Tidal Gargoyle, Rogue. So looks like we're going to be fairly low on health for this next boss. The fight was fairly quick, but we don't have nearly enough for a proper quick kill setup. So I will probably go for 1 or 2 attempts at quick kill cycles and go from there. But this boss can be pretty tough, to say the least. Nope. Okay. Bad positioning for that re-entrance. We can still get a couple attempts in off of the laser, but we're gonna need a little bit of luck. Okay, that was really good! Okay, so we're not gonna be able to go for any quick kills from here on out, but we got a decent number of cycles in there. Just gonna play it safe for the rest of this. Ooh, whoops. And see, that's why. Oh, unfortunately we went off screen a little early there. About 1 hit left. Got him! Okay. Well, that was a really, really bad... That was a really, really bad final boss, honestly. It usually goes much, much better than that. So unfortunately we had some pretty bad luck on one of the bosses. And we missed one of the big tricks. So still 44-15, not terrible, but yeah, not the strongest finish either. So, and that was Demon's Crest 100%. And thank you for your consideration.